Alrighty, welcome back to another watch party. It is the Nets taking on the Charlotte Hornets. We are, I think 3 or 4 games into a homestand here. This will be the fifth, and we've won 3 of the 4 fixtures. And who would have thought that the only loss has come against the Wizards, and the 3 wins have come against Houston twice and Miami. This team is 18 and 34. 34, entering the 53rd game of the season. We're going for our 4th win in 5 straight games, or in the last 5. So, this is a pretty good match if this team wants to win, which I'm pretty sure they will be. Definitely not going to accommodate the definitely not going to accommodate the tank, that's for certain. But in terms of the team morale, I think the team morale is probably at a pretty good in a pretty good position right now. So I mean, that's what you sort of want to see. You want to see a good culture being built. At the same time, it's about finding the right balance. However, we are now past the trade deadline, and so the only thing that we can do is buy out certain players, and so there isn't really much movement in terms of weakening the squad that we can do. However, this team actually can be strengthened, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's probably a bad thing, but it probably means that we're going to see a little bit better of a basketballing brand down the stretch, with Cam Thomas probably being fit and available and ready to go in the next couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure he's not too far off it. I just need to see, when is Cam Thomas coming back? I don't know if Jordi Fernandez has provided an update, because I just saw a post saying like Cam Thomas back soon, and I haven't really seen anything. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't imagine he's too far away, Cam Thomas. Shortly after the All-Star break. I forgot about that. But last time out, I think it's important we revisit that last matchup against the Miami Heat. First half, it was all square. We had a couple of instances where we fell behind by about 10. But then the Nets stormed back twice, and it was all square at the half. And then we saw a defensive masterclass. That has been the exact way this team has won games in the last, heavy chunk of time. I mean, we take one look through their wins this season, and it's very rare you're going to see the Nets crack 120 points. Ever since that win against Phoenix in November, our only wins, in order to win our games, we have not exceeded 115 points in any win except one occasion against Portland, and that is it. There is absolutely no other game that has resulted in, or no other win that has resulted in scoring over 115 points. So all of it has been banked on defense, and as a team, this team defensively is pretty good. I don't know where they sit. Let's have a look at opponent points per game. We have the 4th best mark in that statistic in the conference. So that's better than the Knicks. That's better than the Cavaliers. That's better than Milwaukee. That's better than Philly. So some pretty decent opponents there. And then across the league, we're in the top 10 for opponent points per game. That is, OKC are clearly up top, but we are better than a lot of teams. So that has been a main key as to why we are, getting a few victories here or there. I mean, you look at the totals that we've had to muster up in order to win games: 102, 99, 110, and 104 in the last 4 wins. So it's nothing too eye-catching. It's not really the offensive firepower or the offensive abilities of these players that we still have that are leading to these wins, which a lot of people have been complaining about, in the sense that we've held these players, but D'Angelo Russell's not shooting the ball at a rate that's bashing the door down. It's actually pretty poor efficiency from him, but it's the defense, and everyone's bought in on that end, and it's leading to good results. I mean, you look at the Houston game, we only held the Rockets to 97 points. I mean, that was a defensively minded game from the get-go. And then, of course, the Heat game, they had scored 77 points in 3 quarters. They were up on us, and I did say we need to hit 100 to win, or to give ourselves the best opportunity. And, well, even though we hit 100 points and it was a very good 31-point last quarter, that wouldn't have been the difference maker. If it wasn't for our 9 points conceded on 2 of 21 shooting for the Miami Heat, it would have been a wash. We wouldn't have had enough points to get the victory. So it's been a pretty good work rate to get these results, even though it's detrimental to the tank. In that last game, though, we didn't have a player score above 20. The Heat only had Rozier hit 20 off the bench. But after a great first half, his efficiency hit a wall, much like the rest of the Miami team, who only shot 35.5%. As a team hero, was 6 of 22. Khalil Ware was a troublemaker, but only played 26 minutes. And Bam Adebayo had 18. But yet again, we spoiled the party with some good last quarter contributions from D'Angelo Russell. Claxton was great on Bam Adebayo all game. And I think there needs to be a shout out thrown in there for Trendon Watford, who was a plus 19 in 22 minutes and scored 12 points on 6 of 11 shooting, in probably his best game since his return from injury. So that is where we stand. And so we are about to get this one underway with the Hornets coming to Brooklyn, of course. And this being a 4-win out of the last 5 streak. It's not even a streak if you haven't won 5 in a row. So I don't know really why I said that, but we're just a fraction of time away before we get underway. Alrighty. So, first half, ready to go. For the Hornets, Lamelo, Nick Smith, Josh Green, Miles Bridges, Diabate, the 5 for them. And for the Nets, we've got Johnson Square, D'Angelo Russell, Nic Claxton, and Zaya Williams. Interestingly enough, I'm pretty sure there was only one starter, or there is only one starter in this game for the Hornets that carries over to the previous meeting we played against Charlotte, which we won 104-83. In that game, Diabate came off the bench. Green and Ball were injured, and I believe, well, it's 2 starters actually. Bridges and Nick Smith were starters for the Hornets, but I don't think they shot all that efficiently, and Miles Bridges had to carry them for much of that game. But a little bit more help. Lamelo Ball usually struggles against the Nets. We've had one earlier meeting at the Barclays Center between the Hornets and the Nets, and that resulted in a 116-115 win for Brooklyn. So, going to be interesting to see what the Hornets dish up today with a weakened squad from the last time they played in Brooklyn, but an improved side. Oh, Jesus Christ. but an improved side from, that last game we played against the Hornets. They get on the board within 5 seconds. Claxton won the tip, but Josh Green got onto the loose ball and scored the 2 right off the rip. So Nets will get into a set. Russell, guarded by Smith, 5 to shoot. Lost the handle initially, goes off glass, and that's a skillful banker by D'Angelo, who went 5 of 15 the other night from the field. Hit 3 threes. Diabate to Bridges up top. Off-ball movement for Smith, who's guarded by Cam Johnson. They go for the lob. Diabate off balance, falling out of bounds, was able to save. Lamelo, no look. Smith 3 in the corner. That's off. Diabate is a rebounding machine, so he got a hand to it there, but he swatted it out of bounds, and it will be Nets basketball. Diabate signing a 3-year contract. I did not know he was a 2-way player, but he's gotten some reward for his effort in the NBA. Claxton guarded by Ball. Interesting matchup. D'Lo finds some space, and that 3 is a little bit short. Johnson does well to force a tie-up off the rebound. And so, while he's going to be giving up a fair bit of size in this jump ball, he's given himself a chance, much like he did with that little hustle play right there. Keon's got hops, so he's definitely going to test Bridges, who is a pretty flashy dunker, or was a few years back, but I don't think he's really known for his dunking these days. He's more known as a jump shooter, which is probably a bit of a shame. So Bridges v Johnson in the jump ball, and Bridges wins. I don't believe to anyone's surprise, really. So the Hornets will get into a set here. Diabate, the handoff to Smith, guarded by Russell. Roller is Diabate, and there's the dunk. So, minute and a half gone. Diabate started pretty positively. Johnson's going to take it inside and try the layup, and that's off, but Claxton with the follow-up make. I mean, he's renowned for contesting shots, but giving away the offensive rebound. In the end, it's what allowed Clax to get that put back to Bridges. Bounces it into Smith. That is a contested 3. It's off, but Diabate had better positioning. Green will get inside to the corner for Bridges, who shoots the 3, and that is off. He hit the game winner a couple nights ago against the Spurs. Johnson bounces it into Russell, who drives and misses the lay. And the rebound was a little bit unconvincing, but the Hornets have got it. And Ball will take it inside, splits defenders, and scores the rim-grazing dunk to get his first 2 of the game. Nets go early. Johnson, blocked by Diabate, and the Hornets get the rebound, and they'll run. The Nets have numbers back. But Diabate down the middle, blew the layup, and Russell is adamant that he has not hit the ball. Or not hit the man, he's hit the ball. So, 2 free throws, I believe, for Diabate. Nets are not going to opt to challenge this, which D'Lo was initially gesturing to happen. Diabate is off on the free throw, and I think that's why the Nets took their chance here. Not really worth using up your first challenge, or potentially your only challenge, for a free throw shooter who's not that great. All right. 7-4. Hornets up after Diabate splits the 2. Russell bounces it to Johnson, who drives it in to the wing for Keon Johnson. That's a shocking 3-point attempt. Looking like me out there. And that trickles out of bounds, so it will be Hornets ball. And the Hornets lead 7-4. Good start by them. And they will get into a set through Josh Green. The high pick is set. Green will take a baseline, and he's bumped, and it will be a foul. But it will be a foul on the pass, as Green was looking for a man on the weak side. Lamelo's open for three. That's off. Seven, 4. Nets have an easy runway to the rim here through Johnson, but he's swatted by Diabate, who is switched on. It's a good defensive rollover. It's pretty easy to anticipate that. Good hold up by Smith. And it was, pretty easy for the recovery, the rollover. Williams is going to step into a three, and that is rhythmic. And the Nets have their first three of the game, and it's through Zaire, who hit a couple threes of his own. Nets have not started great from the field. Lamelo off one leg. That's a shocking miss. Bridges gets the offensive board. Lamelo will get it back. It's an open corner three for Josh Green. That is off. And a board by Zaire Williams. The Hornets cannot hit a barn door off the rip. Johnson getting a few more touches early in this game. Beautiful cut by Williams. He fumbled it, but that may have helped him out a little bit and been to the Hornets' detriment. And there's a foul on Diabate under the hoop. And it will be a trip to the free throw line for the first time today for the Nets. I'm not sure if that actually was a foul, but in the modern NBA, anything's bloody a foul. A beautiful, beautiful dime there to Williams, or attempted dime. Definitely opened up the floor. So, 2 free throws here for Zaire. And that's good. So, 8-7. And Zaire makes both. Great free throw shooter this year. I think that's a really underrated part of his game. Lamelo, lob, and Claxton, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He was in no man's land. He was not manning the big man. Probably a little bit more preoccupied with the Lamelo drive. Claxton's doubled, which opens up Johnson for the corner three. That's off. Strong rebound there by Bridges, who put his body in front of the ball. Diabate will give it back to Bridges. It was actually intended for him, but it went to Ball, and now Diabate will slingshot it back out to Lamelo, who did not travel over the shoulder. Beautiful passing by the Hornets, and Green tops off the play with a beautiful three-pointer to give the Hornets their first three of the game. It's taken 7 tries. The Nets will try respond here through Keon Johnson, and that rims out. It's batted out by Claxton to Russell, and he was looking for Claxton under the basket, but Ball was there, and he will pass it out to the corner. That's beautiful patience, and Smith hits, and that will be a timeout for the Nets. 6 straight for the Hornets, or should I say 8 straight. They were down 9-7, and this has been a very, very quick burst for the Hornets after they struggled to get their first 7 points. They've gotten about 8 in 40 seconds, so pretty good start here by Charlotte. Whoops, that's not the box score. This is. And so the Hornets are averaging more points than us this year, interestingly enough. Let's go to the box score. So as you can see, Diabate with the 5 early ones. Same with Josh Green. And Nick Smith and Lamelo have gotten involved early with the facilitation. The Nets have not really played an offensively minded game, really. 3 of 11 from the field, and they've only got the 1 assist to their name. Not really taking care of the basketball too well, and taking some questionable shots. But the Hornets have hit their last couple of threes, and they've got a little 6-point lead because of it. So, look, we're playing a much more formidable Hornets team today. So, I think it's to be expected that they're putting up a little bit more of a fight. They seem to be definitely more well-balanced than they were against us in the last meeting. That being said, their bench is a little bit like... Their bench is so confusing. Seth Curry and Yusuf Nurkic, and then they've got Alfred Payton there as well. So I don't know what era this is with Taj Gibson in there. It's like we're back in the mid 2010s. And then they've just got a couple fillers on the roster. But those top four there are the weirdest combination, I reckon. And it's probably not something you would expect to see in 2025, but here we are living that reality. Nearly halfway through the first quarter. It's gone very, very quickly. We haven't had too many stoppages in the game so far. 15-9 lead, though, for the Hornets. And usually defense is the barometer with this team. But right now, the defense has probably not been helped by the offense that has been it's been moving a little bit slowly in this opening patch of the game. Alrighty. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus the Sixers, the final game before the All-Star break, which will have us have 8 days off. All right, we're back from the break. Claxton's going to back down Diabate, and he gets the lucky bounce. And that is the third and fourth points for Claxton, who has gotten involved early on the stat sheet. Diabate is held up by Watford. It's rolled back out, and that was pretty careless. Williams read it easily, and he flushes it on the leak out. And Williams has got 7 of the Nets' first 13 points. That helps you out a lot. And Williams with another knockaway. Johnson was hit by Diabate. I'm pretty sure that's the second personal. Zaire doing well, setting the tone. I just said defense is the barometer, and it hasn't been particularly helped by the lack of offense, but it can equally, if you can get that defense started, it can fund your offense, and that obviously has a domino effect on how the sequence plays out. Nets have got the ball here, ready to tie this game up potentially. Watford was fouled by Jeffries, and he's got a knack of drawing fouls with that very unique skill set for a man of his size. And at the 6:04 mark, well, he wanted free throws, but it was a foul on the floor, as we are about to hit the halfway point of this opening quarter. Wilson's in the game. Claxton out to Cam Johnson, top of the key, is guarded by Jeffries. The screen's going to be set by Claxton, who thought there was a foul involved, and he got pissed off. Watford misses the corner tray. Salon is into the game. I remember him having a very good match at this venue earlier in the season when we nearly lost it. Smith, another open corner three. That's off. Diabate crashes the glass, and he's just that little bit hungrier. So Clax has got a big job today. He's got to body him up, because Diabate is not going to play down to the opposition. That's for certain. Johnson ready to pull the trigger, and that is automatic. It doesn't matter if a defender's there. Johnson hits the three, and then Zaire nearly got the knockaway on Lamelo Ball's handle, but it's going to be a foul. So 17-16. So Lamelo drives it in, pulls up, and that's a partial block, but Salon somehow got it and was able to score the bucket as on the follow. And it will be another free throw there for the Hornets. They have been great on the glass. Seth Curry's in. Tyrese Martin's in. Dayron Sharp is in for the Nets. Salorn converts the free throw. Tosin is in the game as well. Watford saw an opportunity to take it inside, and it will be free throws here for Watford. Good assertion. Bit of a cardinal sin to allow him to take it in with, I believe, his dominant hand, or shoot on his dominant hand. Watford makes the first free throw there. Seems like we've been sleepwalking a little bit in the last couple of minutes, time-wise. Quite a few stoppages. Watford converts perfectly on this trip. It's back to a 2-point game after the Hornets got out to a 6-point lead at one stage. Nets responded well. Lamelo's doubled. Nets do well to recover. Good extra feed. Diabate is cooking. Pretty sure Diabate's got like 9 and 5 already. The Hornets are +8 in the paint, and Diabate's a huge part of that. Watford's left alone again. He can shoot threes, and Diabate is going to be kept honest as Watford splashes that one through. So he's going to need to think twice now about not guarding him on the perimeter. Ball in a one-on-one. Steps back on Tosin and responds with a three. That is stupid. So Lamelo with his first three. Then the Hornets have their third tray of the game. Nets with the same amount of conversions. Dayron backs down. Diabate, and that is a bucket. And we've got a timeout, I believe, on the Hornets. Both teams in the bonus. It's been a pretty good offensive quarter by both teams. And we enter this this little stoppage in play with the Hornets up by 2, but the Nets having responded nicely since they had to call a timeout of their own. The Nets have gotten 7 points out of Zaire Williams, who's done a little bit of everything. He's played well defensively, which has supplemented points. Well, points on the leak out. He's hit a three, he's hit a couple free throws. You love to see it. Watford also has been given the point guard responsibilities. No more Ben Simmons, of course. So, with that era over, we're still playing with a point forward, if you will. Trenton Watford is probably a power forward by trade, but he's got a unique skill set. Probably a more old-fashioned skill set. But he's doing a good job of facilitating right now with the 5 points to go with those 2 assists that he has gotten. And he leads the way in the assist category, despite only playing the 3 minutes. But for the Hornets, I mean, Diabate has been troublesome, man. 4 from the field, 9 points, 4 boards, a couple of those offensive, and that has proven to be an incredible pain in the ass because he just does not let up. He is he's very tenacious on the interior, and the Nets usually like fall over to these sorts of players. So Clax has definitely got a job to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how this bench contribute because the starters have done a pretty good job. Watford and Sharp have done a good job of keeping the scoring ticking over, but as it stands, I mean, the Hornets have shot the ball just that tad bit better. When they are inside the arc, I mean, a lot of their points have come at the basket here. Yeah, a lot of rebounds have been given up, and that's why they are 7 of 8 inside the arc, and that's where basically every one of their points in the paint have come from. So not surprising that you've got a high percentage from there, but do remember that is exactly the issue, or was the issue for Miami. In the previous game, they only scored 34 points in the paint in the entire game, and well, part of the reason they only got the 9 points was mainly because they just you know, they weren't scoring on the interior at all. The interior defense by the Nets was unreal, and it got to a point where they shot an unhealthy amount of 3-pointers. And with those not going in either, the Nets were running and were able to outscore the Heat tremendously in that quarter. LaMelo's still in the game, but he's playing with the entire bench. He's got Gibson, Jeffrey, Seth Curry, and Salorn into the game, or in the game. God, Tosun has been absolutely dumped. And I'm pretty sure Lamelo Ball was the guy that just bolted into him. Into Trent and Watford there. Oh, sorry, Tosun. What's going on here? The Hornets are gonna challenge this. So this is an interesting challenge. Let's have a look. That's not a foul. So that's probably a smart move. I imagine they looked at that on the bench and were like, what the hell have they called this foul for? It's a little bit of an odd one, but interesting. Pretty sure that's going to be turned over and it's going to go the way of the Hornets, and they will win that challenge, retain the challenge, and they'll get an opportunity to extend this lead. All right. I don't see how this is a foul. So I imagine this one's going to get turned over. Yeah. It's going to be Hornets basketball, unsurprisingly. And it will be reversed, that decision. So that's actually going to be 2 shots for the Hornets. So they have flipped this around perfectly into their favor. So 2 shots here to extend the lead to 2 possessions. And Salorn misses the first. So all that trouble for absolutely nothing in return. One more free throw here for Salorn. And that one's off as well. Jesus Christ. It's gone off the Nets, though, so the Hornets will still have it. So LaMelo's going to get it in. The quick 1-2 with Gibson. And Salorn will give it back to Ball, who will drive it in down the middle. Dayron knocks it away. Clock winding down. It's a step back 3. Oh my God, they've nearly banked it in. They have gotten another rebound. It was batted away by Martin, but the Hornets still have it here. Seth Curry going to face up. Step back for two. That's short. How is that not a foul on someone? Sharp gets the rebound. He had to step over bodies for that to work. And then he's just thrown it to the opposition. They still didn't get it. And Watford's definitely travelled. But he hits the three-pointer and gives the Nets the lead back. As we are in the final 3 minutes and approach quarter time, Simpson and Bridges getting ready to check in. I imagine Lamelo's going to be heading to the bench in place of Bridges. Salon guarded by Watford. Curry on the wing. Takes it inside off glass. Doesn't get the bounce. Good contest by Sharp. The Nets will run. Martin surveys the floor. Guarded by Gibson. Will bounce it into Sharp, who turns the corner and scores the little floater with the right hand. Smart play by the Nets. Good bounce pass by Martin. Good recognition of the situation at play. Watford comes over to double ball. No foul there. It's going to open up a shooter. It's Salon for three. That is off. Board by Martin. Nets have scored 7 of their last 8 field goals, and it's the bench who have been doing this. Martin's going to shoot a 3. That is badly off. Wilson nearly crashed the glass and got the rebound, but it went off hands. Hornets are getting pressed here. Well done by Lamelo. Oh. Lamelo had no options in the backcourt, and he had to bounce pass it into Gibson. Went off Wilson's foot, so a little bit of a reprieve. So Lamelo will sit down, having contributed quite nicely. It's Simpson and Bridges back in. Bridges playing the 4 here. Pretty small backcourt for the Hornets. Bridges out to Curry. And that's going to be a bullshit foul on Martin. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. With 3 seconds to shoot, he's got Curry 6 feet behind the 3-point line, and he's fouling him on a reach. That's just incredibly dumb. So 2 free throws for Seth. Curry doesn't make the free throw. That's another Hornets miss at the line. And they've really struggled in that sense. So, one more free throw for Curry. That is good. 28-26. D'Lo's back in. Hornets are 3 of 7 at the line. They've made less free throws than the Nets, even though the Nets have had 3 less total. Wilson into Sharp. He's going to look for that handoff. He gives it to Martin on the wing, who comes to collect. Extra to Tosin, who rotates around, picks up his dribble, and shoots over Bridges. That is a very, very impressive make by Tosin, who was falling away and scored with the offhand. Lead is 4 for the Nets. Bridges will drive down the middle. He's got the size, but Dayron with the defensive rotation across, and he gets the block. Beautiful work there by, I think it was D'Angelo Russell, who halted Bridges in his tracks. I believe Bridges still is yet to score in the game, but they're going to play through him. Curry, bounce pass to the corner for Jeffries, who's going to drive in, and he shoots with the right, and that ended up being an uncontested layup for the Hornets. So fairly easy there. The Nets will look to execute a 2-for-1. Martin will drive it in himself. Good recognition of the issue. And that is going to be another foul on the Hornets. So 30-28. The score. Martin with 2 free throws here. That's a very, as I said, smart play knowing the situation of where the clock was at. And the Nets make their first again. So still yet to miss on 5 attempts. One more free throw here for Martin. That one's good as well. So back up to a 4-point lead. The Nets have recovered well after scoring 3 of their first 11. If you'll remember, that was when we were down 6, 15-9. Tosin knocks it into the backcourt. Bridges got to take it inside and shoots off glass, and that's well done because he had to start his dribble from way back and was able to lose his man and score off the window. Russell's going to let the clock wind down a little bit. Takes it himself. It's off Dayron with the putback. With 2.8 on the clock, the Hornets will launch at full court. That's incredibly careless. Martin with the steal, and he gets one up. Oh, that looked a lot closer than I think quite a few expected. But quarter time here, 34-30 the scoreline, and the Nets have had a very good end to that quarter. The bench have done a pretty impressive job of bringing this back within a reasonable margin. Or, well, they are leading at quarter time, so it's not only bringing it back, but it's also taking a bit more control of the game. Dayron Sharp with the 6. The bench have done a really good job. Watford with the 8. Dayron's got the 6. So that's 2 of our top 3 scorers already coming off the bench. And neither of them have... well, they're shooting 5 of 6 between them, so they nearly account for half our buckets. Dayron and Watford, and overall as a team, I mean, we've got like the 18 bench points already, which is something that you love to see. So pretty happy with that, I will say. Off the rip, the Nets are shooting above 50% from the field. They are 40% on their threes, and they've made every single free throw. Also, have not turned it over since the very early portion of this match. The Hornets have been a lot less careful in that regard. And really, aside from the Diabate Ball combination, they really haven't been that crazy good, to be honest. I mean, they're not shooting the ball hideously at all. The 3-point attempts are a little bit trigger happy, I would say. I think that's the perfect phrasing. And they've been to the free throw line a lot. They just have left a few points on the table, which would have had them actually all tied up with us heading into the second quarter. But look, I mean, yeah, you're looking at the minute allocation. Nearly every single player has played 6 minutes. So it's not like this quarter has entirely come down to the starting 5 at all. Those who are in the chat right now, hope you're enjoying. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus the Sixers, the final game before we have the All-Star break. And that'll mean we've got like 9 or so days off. I may make a video or something, a video or two, just analyzing a few players if I do have the time. But time has been of the essence, and I'm happy doing the streams the way it is right now. So let me know if you are enjoying those, and subscribe if you're new. We'll be, as I said, back in a couple days. So make sure to remain notified, as well as when I go live after the All-Star break. Dayron is fouled under the hoop by Josh Green. And it occurred as the pass was happening. So smart foul by Green, but fouling was a little bit of an issue for the Hornets in that opening quarter. They gave away the 6 free throws, and the Nets were in the bonus for the back portion of the first quarter. Dayron's, well, that's a beautiful pass into Martin, and they didn't have any coverage under the basket. So Martin with an easy uncontested layup, which is a little bit of a cardinal sin when you're playing half court in the half court. Green just lost the ball out of bounds, and it's good defense on ball by Martin. 20 bench points for Brooklyn. That is over half. So, as I said, it is not the starting five that have done the work here. As soon as the benches come in, they've set the tone quite nicely. Martin? Oh my God. How can you mess up a pass that badly? They're looking for Diabate. There's a foul on the pass, and it was Nick Smith who got slashed on the arm. Tyrese Martin has tried to lob it into Day'Ron Sharpe. He's ended up hitting the rim. How do you miss that badly? So, oh my God, what's going on here? Two quick fouls there by the Nets on passes. Looks like that one came on the inbounding pass. Smith, down the middle again. Ends up just shooting uncontested. He waited for Day'Ron to back off because he knew that Day'Ron was aware of that lob threat that Diabate has posed. D'Lo's got a three. It's going the other way. Day'Ron's committed an offensive foul, so a lot of stoppages early on in this game. Feel like, yeah, we've had some pretty quick first halves in the last couple of games. This game, though, it is taking its jolly old time with all the stoppages we're getting. Smith picks up his dribble. It was knocked away. Simpson on the end of it and does well to hang. He blew the layup and then he traveled. So another stoppage. We've had a minute and a half elapsed. I reckon we've had 5 or 6 stoppages already, which is just not particularly appealing to the eye. Turnover number 6 for the Hornets. Russell. Oh, wow. What is Diabate doing, allowing a 3? It's off. And so not only is he allowed a 3-pointer, which D'Lo missed, mind you, but because of where he was on the court, no one boxing out Day'Ron Sharpe, who scored another 2. That's his... Well, he's got 8 or 10 points in the game. Bridges, beautiful finger roll there on the pirouette, and it's back down to 4 again. Russell, no look to Williams, tries his second 3 of the game. That's off. Rebound by Simpson, who's going to take it in himself. And what the hell? I'm pretty certain he's just blown the layup and they've called a foul for nothing. But let's see if the foul was there. So 9:36 to play in this second quarter. We've got more free throws at the line again. So Simpson shooting a pair. They've been highly questionable from the line. Watford's back in. D'Lo will head to the bench again. They're playing his minutes, pretty conservatively. Simpson makes both. And Watford will bring it up. So early going second quarter. It's been a pretty high scoring first half. But that's been funded by a lot of fouls and a lot of free throws. Martin here on the wing. 8 to shoot. It's good defense. Watford guarded by Diabate on the outside. They're going to feed Day'Ron in the post, and he's got to put one up. It's a mid-range 2. It's off. Tosin gets the board, and there was no foul. The Nets still have it, though, and they've found Watford on the perimeter. Williams has an open 3. Beautiful! So, Williams is, as we know, not shy to shoot the 3 ball. And it's good hustle on the glass there by Tosin, who gets the rebound here on the defensive side. Pressed by Green. Williams to the corner for Watford, who is dared to shoot it again. And he's hit another one. And the lead is at its largest of the game. 44-36, an 8-point margin. Nets are 4 of 7 in the quarter. Have taken 4 more shots than the Hornets. Smith hits the heel. Bridges gets the offensive rebound, the long rebound, and Simpson's off as well. And that is out of bounds off the Hornets. It's going to be Nets ball. So Watford's had a great game. So Cam Johnson back in. Johnson squared actually checks back in. Watford. Now Dayron. Good cut back door by Johnson, but Dayron is probably needs a little bit more refinement in his passing game because he's sent that one into the 5th row. And that is going to be a timeout for the Hornets. Nets have expanded their lead after they trailed by 6 at one stage in the first quarter. And it's been a pretty mature performance by the bench unit. Watford is a plus 15 with the 11 points and the 2 assists. Zaire with the 10. Dayron with 8. So, look, I don't think you could have anticipated that those 3 were going to be our top scorers. They have shot the ball supremely. They've made 10 field goals on only 13 attempts. And when you pair that up with the rest of the team who are shooting 6 of 18, it's a pretty great contribution. I mean, Watford and Williams have combined for 5 of our threes as well. We're 1 of 8 out. So we're 6 of 18 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3, and 2 of 2 from the line outside of Watford and Watford, Williams, and Sharp. So really, it's down to those 3 who have gotten this this very handy lead in our favor. For the Hornets, I mean, we've done well to halt Diabate a little bit in his tracks with Lamelo off the floor. Miles Bridges hasn't been too damaging. He usually loves this matchup. And the Hornets have still yet to hit a 3 in this second quarter. They are still stranded on the 3 threes, and that is making them fall a little bit behind in the game to go with their lack of free throw conversions. So leaving a bit on the table. But if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Philly in a couple of days, and then it will be the All-Star break. So if you want to remain tuned for streams that occur following the All-Star break, make sure to subscribe. And, you know, on top of that, it's not like we're not going to do it next season either. And of course, we're going to have some draftees to root for, so that's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun to do the watch parties next season. More to just see the youngsters, you know, ball out. I don't really know what the team is going to look like, because we've got a lot of good players on this roster. I'd like to see Zaire here long term. I think he's a great player. Cam Johnson, Claxton, I don't know if those guys hang around. Dayron as a starting center would be interesting. Watford, want to see him here long term. I don't know about the 2 ways, but there's definitely a couple finds there. Beautiful touch pass by Bridges into Salorn, who missed, and Williams will get the rebound. Claxton's back out there with Cam Johnson. So nearly all 5 starters back on the floor here for the Nets. It's just Watford out there instead of D'Angelo Russell, which I think is justified. Williams opted to drive it in, and it worked out perfectly. Another open 3, and it's Keon Johnson who hits. And that could not be any more wide open. 2-minute run that translates to 9-0 in the Nets' favor. Salorn in the corner. Drives. Goes at Claxton. Good contest. Long rebound by the Nets. They'll run. They've got the numbers. Johnson opts to not drive it in because Cam Johnson was open up top, and now Keon Johnson will clear out or instruct the Nets to clear out a little bit. Watford is going to back down Smith, and he's forced the help defender to come over, which meant there was an open Johnson 3. It's off, though. Smart play. Smith, blow by, and Johnson gets the block, but Watford committed the foul prior to that, and it will be 2 free throws for Nick Smith. So, couple free throws here for Nick Smith. And that is another conversion for the Hornets. Wilson back into the game. Nets offense has looked really good in this game. We're not even halfway through the second, and we're already at 47 points, which was a pretty good trait for them in the game against the Wizards. But in that game, we saw the Nets fall off completely, and the Wizards offense just kept on rolling. Cam Johnson on the wing. 6:20 to play here. Johnson pressed by Green. It's good defense. Watford faked the cut to the rim. There's an offensive foul, and it's going to be on Nic Claxton, I think. And that's what you'll notice a lot of times with Claxton. He is just useless at sheltering the space for a pass to be sent in on the entry. So, Hornets experiencing a little bit of a rut offensively. They've nearly gone 4 minutes without a basket after a good first quarter, which had them score 30. Lob, and that is just, I mean, that's happened again and again and again. Diabate, just a worthy lob threat. I mean, they just keep on feeding him, and he's been very, very successful via that scoring source. Wilson bounces it into Claxton. He'll shoot with the left, and that's a well-refined move that he would have practiced a ton in shoot-around and on the practice courts. So, lead back up to 9. Bridges with the jab step. The crossover. Gets inside. Shoots with the left. There's a block. It's a goaltend. What? I thought he got there. (49-42), the Hornets now in the bonus. 5 minutes to play here in the second. Lead back down to 7. Nets are shooting very well in this second quarter. Watford's played a lot of time. He's not seen the bench since the start of the game, really, where he was sat down for the first 6 minutes of the contest. Johnson, back into Claxton. That's well worked. And there's another layup. Or not layup, a little floater that goes Claxton's way. Who's wearing the mask. Inside the final 5 minutes of this second quarter now. 51-42 the stat. Smith is going to drive it in as the middle opens up. And Smith steps back. Hits back iron. The board by Wilson. And now Watford is going to survey the floor without gaining ground. He feeds Claxton in the block. He's got Green on him. Multiple guarding. I don't know how the hell that wasn't a foul. He followed up beautifully. And Johnson was met very well by Bridges. Not legally. It will be free throws for Cam Johnson, who got Bridges in the air, but he snatched the ball away. So, free throws here for CJ, who's actually been oddly quiet. He's not taken too many shots, so I think the Hornets have done a good job defensively on him. It's just the supporting cast has been superb for Brooklyn. So 2 free throws here for CJ. And that one goes in as well. So Nets still perfect from the line. D'Lo's back in. One more free throw here for CJ. And that's also made. So 53-42. Only the 12 Hornet points in this second quarter here. So Nets have yet again clamped defensively and been suffocating. Lamelo's been on the bench for a lot of this second quarter, though. So they've given Smith a little bit of extra run. Smith off one leg. That's a beautiful make with the right hand off one leg. Oh, Lamelo's injured. Johnson nearly had the pass intended for him knocked away. Claxton fakes the handoff, takes it in himself, hangs, lobbed it up for Johnson. I mean, I can't imagine that was a part of the playbook, but it's worked out perfectly in the Nets' favor. 55-44, 3.5 to play in the second. Green try to create separation. Jeffries picks up his dribble, back out to Smith. Screen set by Green. One-on-one. Russell lost or forced the fumble. And then Diabate gets blocked by Claxton. The Nets will push the pace. But the Hornets get back nicely defensively. Johnson with the acceleration. High off the window. That's still on its way down from the clouds. That is impressive. Beautiful crossover. Got that extra yard of space. And Diabate, he could stretch out as much as he wanted to. He was never getting to that. Simpson can't get the angle. Gets the rebound. Green on the kick out. That three is also off. Johnson baseball passes it ahead, but he isn't able to pitch it with accuracy. And now the Hornets will go again. Simpson cross at the elbow. Hold up. Claxton with the knockaway. Russell on the end of it. That has got to be a clear path. Or a take foul. Take your pick. It's going to be a take foul. So, beautiful work. Damn, Claxton didn't even block that first one. Johnson did it and then followed up with that beautiful scooper. The Nets are up by 13 and an opportunity to build on this lead a lot more at the back end of this first half. So, lead is 13. And if we look across to the box score, it's very clear that the Hornets have fallen away here in this second quarter. As I'm showing you, like, look at the breakdown. The starting lineup, I mean, well, outside of Zaire Williams, Cam Johnson's been quiet. He's only taken the 3 shots. Claxton only the 8. They're on good efficiencies. D'Lo's only got the 2 points on 1 of 5. So he's not been anything crazy, but the bench, have contributed a great deal of points. We're talking how many? We're talking 25 bench points in the first half. So that helps you a great portion. For the Hornets, they've gotten a good contribution out of Diabate, but looks like Lamelo is questionable to return or worse off. And Miles Bridges hasn't been prolific at all. So they've given the bench a little bit of an extended crack at it. But they are shooting 3 of 17 from deep. And it's never been good today. I mean, it took 7 tries for them to make their first one. The Nets are shooting great splits. They've actually taken the same amount of threes and field goal attempts as the Hornets. But you can see 4 more makes on threes and 4 more makes from the field. So it checks out. 4 more threes, 12 points. And then you've got the 1 extra free throw made in there. So, the Nets are playing a pretty damn good brand of basketball right now. And it's coming from all corners. So, even defensively, that leak out right there that just occurred, which forced the take foul, that is all because Claxton with the knockaway and then D'Lo with the alertness to get it and go. And that's resulted in, well, a good outcome here, evidently. So this This team's in a good place to pick up their 5th win in 6 games as we enter the final couple of minutes. So 57-44 the score as we are okay. It's a clear path foul. Two free throws for D'Lo and the ball because it was a clear path, not a take foul. I think the take foul is only 1. D'Lo makes a pair, gets that lead up to 15 now. It's getting healthier by the second, and it's not too often the Nets crack 60, but they are banging down the door for that total. Johnson just had an open 3 for a second. D'Lo's going to step into one, and that hits back rim, but the Nets are well positioned to get that board. Blanketed into a corner. They've got 6 to shoot. They get it across court. Johnson with 4 to shoot. He's going to jab step and take the 3. It's off, and the Nets crash the glass. Claxton claims it was off the Hornets, but that's not going to be too successful. Even though he may have been correct. Simpson on the drive. In the dunker spot is Jeffries. It's a good pocket pass. And the Hornets have been stuck in the 40s for a long time. Claxton. Spin move. On the left, it's off, and the Hornets fumble it out of bounds. And Bridges will take a seat. So 59-46, 131 a play. Ball inbounded. Russell Johnson will take a baseline. Picks up the dribble behind the back into Claxton, 4 to shoot. Johnson. Layup, it's blocked, and then shoots off one leg. It's off, and then Claxton is able to somehow turn that into another possession for Brooklyn. I do not know how he's mustered that up, but with 1:15 to go, 14, the clock will be reset to, and the Nets will have another go. Claxton guarded by Bridges, playing a bit of small ball at the moment. With no Diabate on the floor, no Gibson out there, no Nurkic activity tonight. Beautiful lob! Oh, that was sublime. What a pass. It was well disguised as a layup attempt, but Claxton on the other side of the rim was ready. Jeffries passes into Salorn. And they finally have hit a 3. I don't know how many misses in a row it's been, but only their 4th 3-point make of the entire first half. Wilson's open in the corner. That is a layup. It's off, though. The Nets had the rebound there, but multiple players got their hands on the ball, and it actually served as detrimental. Simpson will hold for 1 here. They got a 9-second difference between shot and game. Simpson will use the Salon screen. The drive. Shoots with the right. And it did a full 360 on the rim and did not go down. The Nets can hold for 1 with 10 seconds to put 1 up. Johnson is going to walk it past the half-court line. Switch. Johnson. Kick out. Russell. No look. Then thought he was fouled. And the Nets didn't even get a shot up in the end. And that will be the halftime break. 61-49. The lead is a dozen. The Nets and the Hornets not as prolific with their offensive outputs in that second quarter. The Nets, though, held the Hornets to 19 points, which was a significant improvement on the way that first half or that first quarter transpired, in which they gave up 30. If we look at the box score, the Nets have gotten 3 players in double figures. Their bigs have been very, very good. Claxton is in double figures, and it hasn't been too often we've been able to say that this season. It's the 6th time this season We've had a lead of double figures heading into the halftime break, and it's only the second time at home that has occurred. So at least the home fan base is getting a little bit of love for their support in a season which has been a little bit dire. The Nets are shooting just a tick under 50% from the field. Their 3-point percentage has dropped away just a little bit, but their free throws have been flawless. Their free throw shooting's been perfect. Assist numbers have been well spread. Tyrese Martin, amazingly enough, is the leader in that category for Brooklyn. The Nets have 3 players in double figures, as we said, and Day'Ron and Claxton have been a nice 1-2 punch. We haven't really had an empty minute in the center department. And Cam Johnson, Keon Johnson, D'Lo have been pretty reserved and pretty under the radar in this first half. I haven't really had to talk about them too much. Keon Johnson has taken 11 shots for 2 makes. That is a little bit uncanny, to be completely honest. But even with our starting backcourt going 3 of 17, the rest have gone at nearly 65%. We've nearly made... Well, we've made over... We've made practically 2 shots for every 3 attempts, outside of D'Lo and Keon Johnson. So, it's been good basketball outside of those 2 putting up a few bricks, but Zaires hitting his shots at a good rate. Watford, I feel like every time he's played in recent times, ever since he's returned, he's played very smart basketball. And I feel like when we're out there, we love to attack that mismatch, which is usually created because Watford is so unorthodox in the modern NBA. And Day'Ron Sharpe's also been great. The whole bench unit have really put in a good shift. And the plus minus would suggest that the starters haven't been as good as you'd want them to be. I think that's been the real key in the last few matches with the bench. Most games, the bench have been impressive. We're looking at that Heat game. I mean, we ran the Watford minutes and they worked out tremendously against Houston in that 99-97 win. We got how many points? We got about 40 bench points in a game we only scored 100. So that's another positive right there. Let me have a look at the other games. We look at the first game where we won in Houston and, well, all 5 starters got involved there and we only had 4 players active coming off the bench. But even in that game, we got nearly 30 points of bench production, which is a good return. And that's with Jalen Wilson scoring 13 as a starter. So we've got bench players coming into the starting lineup and contributing as well. And we even go to that Hornets game. Yet again, what do we get here? Got another 40 points of bench production in a game we scored 104. So a lot of games, the bench are not leaving us out to dry. I feel like that's been probably part of the problem in a lot of games, especially in that long losing streak. Just the bench production just didn't cut it. And we definitely were the worst side for it. I'm just having a look here. Let's have a look at There really hasn't been too many games though. We've had absolute stinkers from our bench. Let's have a look at, I don't know, Lakers 102-101. When we lost that game, did we get a good bench production? We did with D'Lo there. We usually have a couple good scoring options off the bench. And that always gives you a chance, which is good to see. If you are enjoying the stream, by the way, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We will be back for Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers before the All-Star break. So got a little break in between there, but probably a good time to reset. The Nets will be really happy with the form that they've ended with to make the All-Star break. Alrighty. Okay. I think the Miami Heat have got their new look side playing right now against Boston. And they've actually held them to a decent score. What have they got? They've got Davion Mitchell and God, Andrew Wiggins is stinking it up a little bit for them. But they've got a much deeper team, which is, I guess, a good thing to see. They got no hero tonight, though. And no Highsmith, it doesn't look like. Other games. Oh, this is interesting. The Wizards, who have all of a sudden learnt how to win, are doing well against San Antonio. They've actually clawed themselves back into the game with 16 off the bench to Vukcevic, who cooked us. They've got a ton of bench production. They've got 40 points from the bench, and we're not even at three-quarter time yet. So that's pretty good for the Wizards. They're putting in some good shifts. Thunder are smacking up the Pelicans, which I don't think is remotely surprising. God, they've got a bum lineup. Seriously. It's actually unhealthy, the lineup the Pelicans are running. Warriors up on Milwaukee, so that, of course, is a bit new look with Jimmy Butler in the starting lineup. And Moses Moody's getting the start, which is pretty cool to see. Green's playing small ball 5. And Kuzma is starting for Milwaukee. I love this time of year because you get to see all the new players in their new uniforms. Kings are playing Dallas, so there's new players everywhere for them. Levine is one of those. Anthony Davis, unfortunately, is out, but Max Christie's been really good for the Dallas Mavericks so far, and they're missing quite a few taller players, so that's not going to help them greatly. Minnesota have looked like shit. Man, Anthony Edwards has got 37 points in 3 quarters, and they're down 23 because he accounts for half of their total, and no other players got more than 10. Goodness me, that is just a travesty. Yeah, their bench looks disgusting right now. God, and the Cavaliers, man. I mean, I don't know who they're missing, but DeAndre Hunter has just walked into their starting lineup, and they just look so strong everywhere you look. So, some good performances or interesting games around the league. Aaron, how are the Blues going to go this year? Footy season's around the corner, I know. How many Carlton games do I get to a year? Try to get to every home game, basically. Every Victorian game, I'm trying to get there. How are the Blues going to go this year? This is what I've said to a lot of people. We either finish top 2 or we finish 10th. No in between is my verdict on that. Because the 50-50 games we need to win. So, if we do well in those 50-50s, we'll be right up there with the double chance. If we do not, if we flop with those 50-50s, well, then we're going to be destined for a top or a position outside the top 8, because there's going to be a lot of good sides, and we can't afford that. Can't afford to, falter in that situation. Okay. Alrighty. So, I imagine the second half is about to get underway very, very shortly. Team's in a pretty good spot to get the 5th win in 6 games. I'll tell you what is a big game. I think it's actually probably worth looking at the standings, I think. not the standings, the schedule for the Nets in the next bunch of games. Because, look, who we got? We've got a pretty tough run in the next cluster. We've got Philly, and then after the break, Cavaliers, Philly, Washington, OKC. So there's quite a few games. If you beat Philly both times, you could be in a little bit of trouble. We probably overtake them. Because you know what the worry is, or not the worry, but like, it's good we're winning games, but at the same time, like, we look at the I think it's games back they sort by. Here we go. So we're 2 games back of Philly right now. We're 3.5 games back of the Bulls. We're 3.5 games back from the fucking play-in. And we are 2.5 games ahead of the Raptors. The Hornets are 4 games back of us. So right now we're hovering in the 6th position. Portland have gotten ahead of quite a few teams, actually. But, you know, we're how many games? So 4 games back of Charlotte. We're 5.5 games back of the Jazz and 6.5 back of the Pels. So it's a long way back now. 10th would mean Voss gets sacked. Wouldn't be surprised if that is a reality that happens this year. It's just Carlton are as cursed as the Nets, man, because we should be tanking and we have 18 wins and we are in no man's land right now. But I enjoy watching wins. Are you doing any content with BA this year? Potentially. There are a few little things behind the scenes, but I don't really know what the future holds, to be honest, at the moment. It's a little bit up in the air. I will be doing my Carlton analysis stuff. I don't know to what capacity, because I don't know if I can make 17-minute videos again and again. But I probably want to do just more AFL stuff this year. Just generally, because then there's only so much content you can cover for Carlton. So I'll try to do bits and pieces here and there, but right now just doing the reset, basically. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm just enjoying doing these streams at the moment. It's just allowing me to reset, because I can get very burnt out with doing much bigger tasks and whatnot. Editing is a very mundane thing to do, so you have to be pretty, you need to, like, keep your mind sane. So these little streams are helping me to keep my head in the YouTube game, but at the same time, do something that's a little bit more relaxing before we hit the more hectic time of year for my content creation purposes or whatever. Because it's going to be pretty hard hitting, I imagine. Alrighty. Second half is just about to get underway. In case you've missed it, it is a 12-point lead. Definitely odd. CT going back, probably going to win more games. Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous. There are a lot of good college players and prospects. The draft is very deep. Yeah, look, it's not worth fretting over our draft position. Yes, it may be shit. Who gives a crap? But what the fuck am I supposed to do about it sitting halfway across the world? I can either just translate all my energy into being negative, or I can translate it into saying, well, the team's playing some good basketball. We've got some good players that, look, we've found off the scrap heap, and it's just ended up being we've got some good finds, and we're flipping garbage and turning glitter into gold. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm the kind to see a silver lining in everything. Unless, of course, we've got really high expectations and we're playing like garbage. So Diabate She's going to get us underway and scores a nice little one-handed runner. But yeah, it's not worth me fretting, really, because... Oh, nice attack by Claxton. Good verticality by Bridges, though. The Hornets are going to get into this set early. It doesn't look like Ball is back. It looks like he's probably out for the game if KJ Simpson is starting their second half. Smith, pump fake. Lost the ball going up, but the Hornets still possess. And Green is off on the 3. There was a bit of contact, but I believe it was a high 5. Johnson's closed out well by Bridges. And now Keon Johnson to D'Angelo Russell. Top of the key. Step back 3. Splash. First points on the board for the Nets here in this second half. Lead is 13. But yeah. So I'm just going to, I'm going to go into the draft saying we can get 5 youngsters. And we've just got to back the team or back the front office as Williams just blew a layup and it was great defense by Smith on that leak out. And the Nets have not recovered defensively either. Diabate doesn't get the bounce. It will be free throws. Yeah, yes, we want the best prospect, but at the same time, you can't control it. Especially at this point, you can't control it. So these final 30 games, you've just got to look at it with the mindset of wherever it lands, it lands. It's not even definitive at the moment because, it's the lottery we're talking about here. We're talking about odds. We're not even talking about guarantees. The only guarantees are what goes on outside the top 15, and that's not even set in stone yet. So you've just got to, for me, I'm just not going to use my energy on being pissed for half the fucking season, which people already have been. Yes, you want to get into a position of winning a chip, but it's a long road to get there. It's a long road to get there. There's a make. Couple makes there, or one make, should I say, by Diabate. The lead is 12. D'Lo cross court to Johnson. The no-look put off a couple of the Hornets players, and it means they're late on the closeouts. Johnson off on the 3, though. Lead is 12 for the Hornets. They trailed by 12 at the break. Bridges down the middle. Skip pass. Simpson, corner pop. It's an air ball. What? I thought that was a fucking box out, but apparently that was illegal. And it will remain on this end. Do come previews and reviews. That is not my bread and butter, Aaron, because everyone does it. There's 15 different previews and reviews you can look at on YouTube. So I'm not going to do something that there's already 15,000 of. Claxton's not even looking at the basket when he contested Diabate, who blew the layup. And then Russell with the blow-by and the layup in transition. Hornets defense unset. And D'Lo took it straight down the middle of the lane. So Russell potentially could have gotten a foul headed his way. Bridges misses the follow-up, and then Diabate on the third bite of the cherry is able to score the putback 2. All right. Johnson. Bounce pass into Russell. 3. Short. Rebound Bridges. 66-54. Bounces it ahead to Smith. Kick out. Green. Good ball movement. Simpson had a lot of space. Didn't want to shoot it, but Bridges will also drive it in, and then the space opens up again. Simpson's got a switch. He's guarded by Claxton, but isn't able to lose him, and that was food for Claxton. 7 seconds left on the clock there for the Hornets. So Hornets get it off the inbound, and D'Lo with the knockaway. Johnson nearly had it pickpocketed. Nets get it ahead. Beautiful lead for Claxton. Oh, that was absolutely beautiful on the eye. Beautiful get-ahead pass. The Nets aren't shooting it great in this quarter, but the Hornets are 2 of 9, so a bit of saving grace. Nets are outscoring them in this quarter. Bridges, off balance. We've got free throws. And it's Claxton who commits the personal. That's another one in this quarter. D'Lo's just such a good floor general. Do your Carlton previews while doing a handstand if you want to be different, bro. Like Akamanis. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's like last year when that Carlton channel that smacked eggs on his head after we lost to the Hawks. My blue heaven, that was that was something. But I would never do something like that. I'm not gonna do shit for the views. It's just not me. So it's just not me. I'm not cut from that cloth. So Bridges at the free throw line missed the first, which is very much in tune with the way they have played or shot the ball at the free throw line. They've been an incredibly mixed bag. 68-55. The score, Johnson will drive it in, steps back for two, and Cam Johnson converts from the mid-range, and the lead is up to 15 now. Simpson. Diabate to the wing. Bridges. Tries to create that space. Pocket pass. Oh! Diabate with the crank. He's definitely enjoying his time rolling to the rim today. Oh, beautiful feed by D'Lo into Williams. It could not have been a more open three. Good generation of an open shot. Smith goes downhill and then just lost the ball out of bounds. It will be a turnover at the 7:26 mark of this third quarter. So 70-57. High screen. D'Lo. Skip pass. He had me fooled and Johnson's hit back rim again. But the Nets get the offensive rebound after the miss. Claxton takes a dribble down low. He missed that too as well. Off hands. And it ends up with the Hornets, who have fumbled it out of bounds again. They just cannot catch a break right now. So this has been just a little bit all over the place in this third quarter for both teams, I think. Watford's into the game for D'Lo. Watford going to drive in and shoot off one leg. Immediate impact off the bench for Trendon Watford. And it's back to a 15-point game here. Smith on the perimeter. Diabate. Bridges on the wing now. He's going to bounce past it into Diabate, who turns the corner. And he's looked really, really good in this game. It's impressive. Johnson. Oh! And he's got a few words for Diabate. And it looks like we got a timeout here taken by the Hornets. 74-59. Let me have a look at the chat. I'm done worrying about where we fall. Our draft pick lands where it lands, plus we have 4 first-round picks. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm like, we're going to get some talent in anyway. Surely you're going to hit on 1 or 2 of those. You know, like, it's, you just got to look at it from a positive mindset, and that'll take you far. Does Simpson make you think of Cade Simpson? I wouldn't say so. Not off the rip. You need a special thing you do after a Carlton win. How about jumping jacks? Got to stand out. Nah. Oh, look, the analysis is my way of standing out, because who else does analysis the way I do it? In the bloody AFL community. I don't think anyone does it the way I do it. So, or with as much work, you know. So it's like, that's my way of standing out. I don't really need to do it. I don't really need to do anything special. I don't need to overcomplicate things. People enjoy the analysis for what it is, and that's like my video for the week, and people love it. So, I like your style, bro. Keep working hard and talking about the Blues. That's what we'll do, though. You have a good mic and setup, speak well. You could do big things. Keep working hard. Cheers, man. Appreciate it. yeah, that's all I got to do. Just keep working. Got to keep the head up. Don't get too down in the dumps about numbers and shit, you know? Because like with a channel my size, it's very easy for me to like. I do a lot of shit that that goes unrewarded, which is pretty funny. So, like, I don't think there's a play-by-play, like NBA play-by-play that looks like this and is this elaborate with the way the setups look and that sort of thing. And I do box scores the way I do them and all that, you know. So I'll do a lot of stuff that goes unrewarded, but got to keep the head up, keep cracking on. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We'll be back for Nets Philly in a couple days, and then the All-Star break is here, so we'll have a little bit of a layoff, may do a video or two, and then we'll be back at it. Nets and the Hornets in a little bit of a rut. In this third quarter, it hasn't been particularly brilliant, the offense, but the Nets are outscoring the Hornets 13-10, and we're just about the halfway point. So 74-59, 6:09 a play here in this third quarter. All right. 74-59, Hornets back out of the timeout with Jeffries, Bridges, Curry, Simpson, and Diabate, the five on the floor. Curry freed up and is well short on the three-pointer, and the Nets will get into a set here. Wilson's back out on the floor for Brooklyn, and heading to the bench is Zaire Williams. Johnson on the wraparound, uses a couple screens. Beautiful pocket pass, and Claxton is freed up. And another beautiful look there by the Nets. They are just... like, I don't think the shot creation's ever been a problem. Claxton is able to read the role that Diabate had created. It's happened time and time again. It was a good read. The three is off by Wilson, and Simpson is tripped up by Watford, I believe. So that halts the Hornets in their tracks. So Hornets now in the bonus. So they'll shoot free throws the rest of the way, but they haven't really been that good at generating those free throw attempts in this third quarter. That's a beautiful cross-court feed to Curry. And that's just bread and butter right there. Beautiful basketball. Catch and shoot. Three there by Seth Curry is known for that. That's only their fifth three in the whole game. Shooting 22% from the outside. That's not particularly brilliant. That is the hallmark of a tanking team. Claxton, with a little jumper in the mid-range. I thought he didn't get enough on it, but here we are with Claxton making another two. Hornets get it across half court. Lead at 16. And Simpson will be guarded by Tosan, who is into the game. Martin is also out there. Bridges. Oh my God. Nearly tried to place Claxton on the front page, but Claxton was having none of it. Watford the kick out. Tosin, three is off. Claxton nearly able to get the board. It's off though. Simpson behind the back as Nets numbers converge. Diabate fumbled it, and there was a foul on Wilson, and that's free throws out of absolutely nothing. So 4 minutes to play. Claxton to the bench. Dayron will check in. Taj Gibson is out on the floor, but only momentarily, I think, because Diabate is back in. I think they weren't allowed to make that sub. Oh, yeah. It was free throws. Diabate thought he was destined for the bench, but can't go to the bench when you got a couple free throws to take, and he will shoot a couple. And that one is off. Goodness gracious me. I don't know why Nurkic isn't playing. Diabate converts the second again. Watford, high screen Sharp, backdoor cut Tosin, lets the man go by, good block. But Dayron, I mean, it came down to a little bit of fortune there. Was batted straight to him, and that spike results in a Dayron second chance bucket. Smith, over the shoulder, gets it back from Diabate. He's going to drive on Tosin. It's great defense, bounces it into Diabate. Salorn. Wilson is jumping like a rabbit here with, like, at every opportunity, he's got the hand up and he's jumping and getting into the grill of Salorn, who wasn't able to get the three off. It was a kickball violation on the baseline, so it will be Hornets basketball still. The lead is 17. I don't think it's actually been any higher in this game, even despite it being in double figures the entire third quarter. Smith, gonna drive again. 6 to shoot. Out to Salorn at the logo. To the corner for Jeffries. He was open, and he airballed it incredibly badly, and no one was able to get hands on it, so there will be a stoppage in play. And it looks like we're getting another timeout. 80 to 63, the score. 3 minutes to play here in this third quarter. It's been a bit more of a free-flowing quarter, this one. Around the grounds, let's have a look and see what's going on. The Wizards are down 9, so that game, it looks like the Spurs are probably going to get up. Actually, it's a 5-point game. May have to just have that game on watch, because the Wizards are playing a lot better in recent times. They're getting a lot closer with, like, some decent opponents. And it looks like they're on track here to potentially get it down to a sole possession. Poole. Good drive. Oh, shit. Holmes is going to shoot a 3. Oh, my God. Air ball. Got to get one up. Oh, my God. Pull from the logo. That's shocking. They got another crack, though. Are the Wizards going to become irrelevant, like... Oh. God, Poole is getting blitzed. Fuck, they had so many chances there to get a bucket, and they've gone 3s on nearly every attempt. What other games? Hawks up on the Magic. Cavs up on Minnesota by a huge amount. Interested to see if Ant has built on his 37. Ant's got 44 points. 44, and his team's down 26. Jesus Christ. What other games have we got around here? Celtics killing Miami, man. And that, I think, is to be expected. Yeah, Miami, after 3/4 of 2 players in double figures, that is not going to end well. Of course, we're up. Pelicans are getting their asses kicked in by the Thunder, which I think was also easy to anticipate. And what else have we got? We've got the Warriors up at halftime. On the Bucks, don't ask me why Jimmy Butler's getting paid $60 million a season to put up 8 points in a half. And the Kings and Dallas are in a little bit of a tussle. And it looks like 16 to Dinwiddie off the bench. Yeah, that checks out. God, the Wizards have got 8 players in double figures. 8 players in double figures, and Brogdon's on 9. That's nearly their whole team. If it isn't their whole team, I reckon it is. So I'm going to keep that game open in the background. Meanwhile, here we resume with Watford. Out there with Martin, Sharp, Tosun, and Wilson. Dayron's got Jeffries on him in the post, but we cannot attack there. They do well to defend that. Tosun hits the three-pointer from the outside. Spurs get it up to 7 now with 3 minutes to play. So it's a 20-point game. 2.5 to play in this third quarter. Gibson. Now to Curry here on the wing. Bounce pass into Smith. Curry gets by Martin. Dayron comes over to help and holds up that drive attempt. They got 3 to shoot. It's going to be a chuck up, and it's off, and Dayron with the rebound, and Watford will get it ahead to Tosun. Watford's going to step into another 3. There's too much space there. That hits back rim. Long rebound by Jeffries. Meanwhile, the Spurs up by 9, so they should win that game. Bodies on the floor as that is knocked away, and we've got a jump ball, and I believe Seth Curry is the man at the bottom. Wizards turnover, so yeah, I think the Spurs have got this one. That's good defense there by Martin and Tosun to ensure that that ball did not get out of the tight congestion that was on the floor. So 1:48 to play here. 20-point lead here for the Nets. Looks like it's following a similar trajectory to what we wound up with in the previous match against the Hornets. It was a 21-point win in the last outing. Tosun's pass is knocked away, but it's somehow landed with Dayron. It was blocked by Gibson, and it's gone off the Hornets. So play resumes. 1:35 to go. Beautiful backdoor cut by Russell, and it's Dayron with the feed. It's supposed to be the other way around, but we live in a different simulation. Gibson. Handoff. 3 above the break. That doesn't even hit the rim. It's like I'm looking in the mirror here because the Hornets are doing exactly what we have done in quite a few games this season. Russell, blow by, had it stripped from him by Josh Green, who's going to bounce it in to Jeffries. Good verticality by Wilson, but Jeffries with the impressive conversion at the basket to cut this lead back down to 20. So Russell is blitzed, Martin will hold, and Russell will get it back at the logo. So a bit of on-ball pressure there whenever Russell gets the ball. There's going to be an open man somewhere. We've got 4 to shoot, and Martin's going to need to put one up. And that hits back rim, but we get the rebound. And Russell is going to settle here. Nope, he's going to shoot a deep tray, and that's off as well. It's a bit strange because we had a 2-for-1 right there, and Russell consumed like 6 seconds of clock there. Instead, now it's only a 2-second difference between shot and game. In case you missed it, Brandon Miller's out for the season. So is Grant Williams. Bridges has been on the bench. And Lamelo Ball has been out since not even the second quarter, the first quarter. The Nets get a steal. It's a 2-on-1 break. Russell off one leg. It's off. And that would have involved a level of finesse that I don't think even Russell believed he was capable of. It's 3-quarter time here. The Nets have, it's fair to say that without Lamelo Ball, the Hornets have looked to struggle. They have very little offensive talent out there. And this is why I look at the Nets, right? And say, we should be actually pretty blessed, right? That we have not had a draft pick and we've still got a bunch of these capable players on a roster that have scored 85 points. Like, yes, you shouldn't be winning, but granted, look who we're playing. Like, the Hornets have been tanking for years or have been shit for years, and they have players that are injury prone, or they've got a bunch of vets that can't do shit. And meanwhile, we got Kevin Durant in free agency, and we've turned that into Cam Johnson, who is a decent NBA player. Watford was off the scrap heap. Williams we got him for absolutely nothing. Dayron was a late first round pick. Cam Thomas was a late first round pick. I can go on for days. Tosun wasn't even in the league this season. Keon Johnson hadn't played a full NBA season. We got Dennis Schroeder for Spencer Dinwiddie, who wasn't even fucking trying, and that's turned into D'Lo, who's an adequate player. Claxton was a second round pick. You got to look at things from a positive mindset, I feel like. Wilson was a late second round pick. So we've turned a lot of just garbage or seemingly garbage into some pretty decent NBA players. That's the second quarter in a row we've outscored the Hornets by 8 in a quarter. It's almost like the offense is slowly becoming less of a staple in this game, because I feel like the offense has really fallen away for both teams. But the Nets are well in control here. They've held the Hornets to 65 points, and I think they'll be very, very content with the way this game is transpiring, even though, tanking would be preferable. Bridges is going to shoot a three, given a lot of space there, but that one was offline as well. That's how the 3-point shooting has gone for the Hornets today. 85 to 65. If the Nets get 30 in this fourth quarter, they'll hit 115, which, as we've said, is like the lucky number because they have not hit 115 or more in a long time outside of that Blazers game. It's been it's been a couple of months, actually, so 87 already here for the Nets as they get on the board nice and early with a D'Lo dime to Dayron. Loving that alliteration. Salorn takes it downhill and scores with the lay. 87-67. Wilson's open in the corner. That's shocking defending. What are they doing? That's off, though. It's batted back. And Russell didn't beeline the ball. Simpson with a very impressive layup. Got fully extended there to ensure that Tosun couldn't actually get in contact with the basketball on that contest. That's an impressive layup. So one free throw here for Simpson. And that one rims in, so getting a little bit of luck at the line there. 87-70. Wilson will bring it up, which is a little bit unorthodox. Tosun. To D'Lo on the wing now. Screen by Sharp. D'Lo moves through. No look to Wilson, and the reverse layup is beautiful. It's very simple basketball, but if it works, it's very, very fun to watch. Bridges gonna go attack Martin and isn't able to get enough English on it. Russell protects the landing space and is able to get that rebound. Martin on the wing. Sharp's got Smith on him. And there's a 3-second call and it's going the other way. The Nets couldn't get the ball into Dayron quickly enough. But you're liking that we're able to force those switches onto the smaller defenders under the basket. Probably haven't been aggressive enough trying to get it there. And the Nets centers need to be a little bit better with their body work to get the entry passes, but done a decent job of forcing those. And it's meaning that Hornets players are having a roll over and it's freeing up those perimeter players. 4 to shoot. Simpson's going to have to put one up here. And it's not going to be easy. The reverse. That was nice looking. So some good buckets here. Impressive buckets by Simpson at the rim. D'Lo cross court to Tosun. Wilson rotates around in the corner. Knock away, and that's a careless pass. Josh Green getting into the passing lane. They're playing a bit of zone. Green's going to bounce it into Bridges. It was knocked away. Martin couldn't collect. It was only spinning out of bounds. What? The Hornets have ruled out Diabate for the rest of the night because of an eye contusion. How the fuck can you have an eye contusion? What the hell? That is just blatant tanking, man. There's no way. It can't be any more blatant. Salorn's going to take it in. And Williams, I feel like he forced a tie-up, but the referees thought otherwise, and it's going to be a couple free throws here for Salon. Another free throw missed. And Salon makes number 2 again. So Hornets have been like shocking from the line, but I don't think they'll be complaining. Cam Johnson's back in for the Nets. So we've got Watford, Johnson, Dayron, Tosun, and Zaya Williams. That's swatted. Hornets going on a little burst here. It's a 3-on-1 break. There's the lob, and they nearly blew it. And then they did. That's great defense on the last line by Cam Johnson. It was a good rotation across by Williams as the one in the 3-on-1. His length forced a little bit of a wayward pass, and they had to take the long way round, and that forced or allowed reinforcements to arrive for Brooklyn. So the Hornets will have to play in the half court. Bridges steps back for 3, and that's off. Dayron nearly got out rebounded by a midget. But not to be. Watford bounces it into Cam Johnson, who steps back and isn't free. So he passes it off. Tosun. Watford. Switch. Crossover. Guarded by 2. Shot is off to the right. Hornets not wasting any time. Trailer was Salorn, and Bridges just turned it over. Nets of the numbers. Tosun's going to back down and kick out to Williams, who's going to drive in. Behind the back, Johnson 3. It was nearly box office. It's off, though. Williams gets the offensive board. Shoots and misses again. Dayron, how was he not fouled? And he is sore. And then Watford got decked as Salorn lost the ball going up. And we've got action going on everywhere. I don't know how on earth that wasn't a foul. And Dayron is not particularly impressed with the officials there on that occasion. So 89-73, Hornets have been much improved. If we look around the grounds, let's have a look. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the Spurs got up. The Hawks look like they're going to beat the Magic, which is a little bit strange because their starting lineup looks so awkward. They got Terrence Mann and Levert off the bench. That's not actually awful. They got a lot of good wings. Wagner and Banchero have scored 64 points between them. 64 points between them, and they've scored 104 total. Would you look at that? They don't even have, like, this is like a bit of an issue. You know what? This probably tells you a bit about where the 8th pick gets you. I'm pretty sure Wagner was like a 6th pick. Banchero was obviously 1. But Cole Anthony, I'm pretty sure, was like a 6th pick. Wendell was like a 6th. Isaac was like a 7th. Like, the Magic are not a great team in terms of drafting until very recently. So Cole Anthony, what was he? He was pick... What pick was he? Oh no, Cole Anthony was the 15th pick. Anthony Black, I'm pretty certain was the... What was he? Anthony Black was the 6th. Wendell. I mean, I know they didn't draft him, but Wendell was a 7th pick. And what was Franz? Franz Wagner. He was the 8th pick. He was the 8th pick. So you can get a player like that, but you can also get Wendell Carter. So ultimately, it comes down to how well you're drafting. If you've got good talent ID, then you could be very successful. But if you've got shit talent ID, which Sean Marks has proven to have very good talent ID, so yeah, like Sean Marks is, he's found some really good players with his draft pick situation. So I reckon he'll do all right. Oh my God, that's going to be a foul under the hoop. Williams fouled, little push as he went up. 2 free throws for him. So yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get, but like, I find that ridiculous. Magic of 104 points and they've gotten 67 from 2 players. That's just incredibly out of hand, if we're going to be completely honest. Zaire at the free throw line to shoot a pair. And I'll tell you why the talent ID is good. Because we've got 18 wins with this fucking team. I mean, Geordie is a huge part of that, though. That's for certain. So, first free throw made there by Zaire, who continues to show his worth at the free throw line this season until he misses the free throw, and then Dayron gets the offensive board and Williams will get a 3. Oh, it's a 4-point play on offer, an individual 4-point play without a free throw, which would have been fairly unorthodox. Dayron gambles on the steal. Gibson couldn't take advantage. He turned it over. Tosin Euros through. It's off. Dayron isn't able to get the follow, and then they put it in themselves. We had no more players under the basket, and they have somehow 2v0'd it into the hoop. That's 24 second chance points for the Nets compared to the Hornets 9 available. Simpson with the right. He's actually been a pleasant surprise for them. Watford. Dayron now, top of the key. Cam Johnson. Probably won't play much more, I would assume. Dayron with the right. That is seemingly partially blocked by the Hornets. Got a little over half a quarter to play here. Claxton's getting ready to come in with Keon Johnson. Salorn picks up his dribble, moves through. Dayron does well to contest. And the Nets get the rebound through Watford. Spin. Cam Johnson. Feet were set. And it's just shot mechanics 101. He just looks like... It's very hard to explain, but like mechanically, he just looks so stable when he shoots 3-pointers. It's like his shoulders are squared up. Everything about it is good. If he gets a 3-point look like that and the pass is on point, he is scoring every day of the week. Loopy pass by Johnson into Tosin, who hangs, and there is a foul on Gibson. Jeffries did well to come over and help. That was, well, didn't count for too much. So, little under half a quarter to play. Couple free throws here taken. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like Dayron's heading to the bench. I would imagine just the bench are going to get a little bit of a... Yeah, I would imagine the bench are going to get a little bit of run here in the late game. Wilson and Johnson getting ready to come in. It looks like Claxton... Oh, he is back in. It's a bit strange. Are we going to get a timeout? We are. Alrighty. So 21-point lead. I'd say it's pretty commanding the margin right now. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We've got one more game before the All-Star break, and then it will be a little 8 or so day breather, and then we'll be back at it to close out the season. Hopefully in a pretty, well, I'd like to say a positive fashion, but I don't actually know what that looks like, whether that involves, well, wins or what. Heck, we could fucking make the play-in if we're not careful. Alrighty. So... The Nets are looking, in a pretty commanding spot. I mean, they're up 21. A win today, which I assume is going to happen at this stage now, the way the Hornets are playing, that would have us positioned for 5 wins in the last 6 games. Who would have bloody thought that was going to occur? If you had have told me that a couple of weeks ago when we had won like 2 in 14. We've got 6 players, I can't count. 6 players in double figures, and it hasn't just come exclusively from the starting lineup. D'Lo's got 11, it hasn't been that efficient. Dayron's got the 14 and 8, which is a great stat line off the bench in only 19 minutes. Cam Johnson had only taken the 9 shots tonight, very conservative match, but an efficient 14. Zaire with the 11, he's had some good moments, and Trenton Watford is a team high, plus 29. Every lineup he's been involved in, it's been better with him in it. He's hit 3 threes, he's got 13 points, he's held the defense accountable, and Claxton leads the way with 16 on 8 of 13 shooting, and he's been nothing short of excellent. Couple blocks, couple steals. So he's had a good little run of form. I mean, the Nets are winning games with Claxton actually looking like an NBA player, which is good to see. So, under half a quarter to play now. So, one more free throw here to be taken. And it will be Tosan taking the free throw. And that goes in. So, 22-point margin. Nets yet to crack 100 points. They've sort of limped to the total here. Only 13 points in the quarter for the Nets. Salorn hops into a 3 and hits that. So, back under 20 points. Nets have just got another open 3, and this is not looking like an NBA defense. Claxton gets the offensive rebound. Tosan is open for another look. Wilson is thinking about it. 7 to shoot. Tosan takes it inside. Goes at Gibson. Somehow was able to pass it out. We've got 2 to shoot. I don't know why Wilson hasn't put up a 3. Rim grazes the 2. And a rebound by the Hornets. Simpson will take it himself. Gives it to Salon on top of the key. They take it through the weak side. Jeffries is going to shoot off glass and get fouled, and it'll be more free throws here. So, Beekman's going to get a crack late in this game. No reason to risk injuring your better players. God, the Mavericks are falling apart here. Jeffries makes the free throw. What the hell's happened with Daniel Gafford? He just fucking collapsed. Claxton will sit for the rest of the game now. And that one rims out as well. So another missed free throw. And it is well and truly a G League game that I'm now watching. Keon Johnson lost the ball. And no net was remotely interested in trying to get that ball. So looks like we're really limping to the finish line here with the... we're limping to the finish line with the offense especially. Geordie's not happy. We just saw a look on the bench. Geordie is fairly unhappy with the way this... Well, that possession transpired. 4 to shoot. It's good defense by Beekman. Smith off one leg. That's short. The rebound by Tosan. And I think they'd want to make amends for that previous possession. Tosan out to Keon Johnson. He's going to go one-on-one. Lost the ball going up. Wilson somehow ended up with it, and Tosan misses the 3. Wilson with the offensive rebound. As we enter the final 4. 8 to shoot. Martin is just letting the clock wind down. He's going to put a 3 up. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Are we taking the piss, Tyrese? Shocking handle there, and that is why you are not a primary point guard. Looking like me with the handle there. So, under 4 minutes to play. Simpson gonna lob it into Salon. There's a foul away from the ball. With 7 to shoot, that clock will reset to 14. Charlotte's going to go to the free throw line now. They're in the bonus. I don't think Geordie would be particularly happy. I don't think he'd, be particularly happy with the way this has ended. So 2 free throws here for Salon. That one's good. Are we fucking taking the piss? We're calling another timeout, man. God. It's ridiculous. Okay. So this will be win number 5 out of the last 6. I think it's been 2 weeks. A 2-week span. We went from having 14 wins for a long time, or being stuck within that 12 to 14 win range, which actually similarly occurred last year, to now being very close to getting 20 wins now. So that 20th win could very well come against Philly, in which case we could be tied with them for record if we win that game. Salon makes both. I think this is the last game we play against the Hornets of the year. Martin to Wilson. Now Beekman uses the screen, bounce pass to Wilson. 3 ball. No good. Gibson's fumbled it out of bounds. It will be Nets ball again. So the Nets are probably going to dip below 115 again. They had one job, and they have only scored like 12 points in the quarter, I think. So, I mean, that checks out. Because we're playing this bench unit who can't buy a bucket now. Understandably, 3 minutes to play. Smith has played heavy minutes without Lamelo Ball available. Micic got traded. So he's going to get a lot more opportunity. And he pulls up for 2 here and hits that one. So it's back down to 14. So making the scoreboard look a little bit respectable of the Hornets. Oh my god, Jalen. Are you fucking kidding me, brother? Fucking hell. These G-Leaguers, man. Wilson's just fumbled that ball out of bounds off absolutely nothing. Had the crowd a little bit surprised. Smith gonna step back and miss the 3. Wilson's just fumbled the rebound. Salon, oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? He's been hit on the head, but after he's done a full fucking travel around the world, mate. With multiple stopovers. So 2 free throws here for Salon. Again. And yeah, they're making this look a little bit more respectable here. I feel like this could get into single figures before we know it. Yeah, he fucking got hit in the head after he's done the full travel. And he fell over like at an incredibly delayed rate. We're in the final 2 minutes. The lead is 12. The Hornets have scored the last 10, actually, which is pretty funny. Beekman, Tosun. Back to Beekman, who's going to shoot a 3. That one is off as well. We're inside the final 2 minutes. They can get it into single figures, funnily enough, if they hit a 3 ball. Hornets aren't playing in any rush. I feel like they know the assignment. Smith behind the back, lost the ball, and we've got more free throws. Why on earth are we fouling him, man? Beekman's... Yeah, Beekman's got, well, a foul to his name and 2 more free throws for Charlotte again. I'm pretty sure they've scored their last 5 or 6 from the line here. 90 seconds to play in the game. And that is 2 conversions. It's down to 10. I don't know the last time in this game it was a 10-point margin, but Nets don't need to do anything stupid, really. it's actually pretty cooked that they've gotten it down to 10, and the Nets haven't cracked the 100 yet. Wilson puts up a prayer, and he's airballed the 3-ball. And the Nets... Oh. Okay, well, the clock's still running, and it ended up being a shot clock violation. The Hornets have got to get it past half court. Got a minute to play. It's a 10-point game. They lob it into Gibson. And he gets blocked by Wilson. Gibson's going to go again and scores the reverse. We've got 55 seconds. It is an 8-point lead. It's been a 14-0 run over 5 minutes. But they're not... They're playing straight up zone defense, which is a bit weird because the clock is running down very quickly, and that every second matters even more so late. They've just turned the ball over again. With 32 seconds left, it's an 8-point game. I don't think the Hornets are interested in winning because they're using like the entire clock every possession. Simpson goes up, airballs the layup, and that's going to be out off the Hornets. Simpson got hit in the head, and the official didn't bat an eyelid to that call. So this is probably the most chill I felt for a 4.5 minute drought. Nets are just going to run it across half court, and the Hornets are not going to do anything to help their cause anymore. So the Nets are going to win this by 8, 97 to 89. And in the fourth quarter, well, the scoring well and truly hit a wall. Hornets end with 24 points. The Nets only scored 12, so they somehow end the game not scoring over 100 points, but they did all the work in the first 3 to get the job done. And they win this one by 8 points. They have allowed under 100 points in 5 of the last 6 games, and that has, well, that's the exact record we have in terms of wins. 5 wins in the last 6 games. We only allowed under 100 points 4 times in the first 47 matches. So this Nets defense is lifted. I mean, some of the opponents have helped, but that being said, we did concede 115 to the Hornets early in the season, so we've done the work there. And let's have a quick look at the box score for the Nets. I mean, Claxton, Johnson, Sharp, Watford, Russell, Williams, every single player that did not end off this game were all in double figures, and you can see there was some pretty impressive box score stat lines in there. Pretty efficient shooting. Trenton Watford was a team high plus 26, Sharp a plus 16, Williams a plus 12. So overall, a very good return from the more senior heads, or the guys that probably are generally known for getting a few more minutes in the minute allocation. For the Hornets, Salorn ended with 16, Smith with the 13 on not great splits. Simpson played 30 minutes after Lamelo only played the 10 in the game tonight. He got injured in the first quarter apparently, and Josh Green, Diabate 21 and 10, so he was a shining light for them. Good efficiency, got to the line, had a couple blocks, and generally was their best player far and clear. Miles Bridges did not rock up, 7.7 boards. He found it pretty tough for them. And in the end, well, it was a pretty sedated way to end this game. The Nets only hit 10 threes and they shot the ball like shit. But the Hornets had 15 less shots. They only hit 6 threes in the game. And for all those free throws, only had 6 extra makes compared to the Nets because they missed 9 and they had a ton of turnovers. So ultimately, the Nets bench did a lot of work after the initial positive start by the Hornets to take the lead, and they never really looked back. So yeah, I think it was a pretty expected win with who the Hornets had available if Lamelo wasn't playing, which he basically wasn't for the whole game. So that is how it transpired, and ultimately I think the Nets won't be too happy with the way they closed that game because they conceded 14 the last 14 points of the game, and we've seen that a couple times before, but there's been multiple instances that actually results in a win. So the Nets did the work early on. They were pretty comprehensive in their dominance, and that is win number 19 for the season. And we edged closer to Philadelphia, who are in the 11th spot, which is a position we were adopting for quite some time before we absolutely fell away. So funnily enough, we're closing in on the play-in, which is a bit strange, and it wasn't supposed to happen like this, but I feel like the next patch of games, well, they're going to be heavily important. 2 Philly matches in our next 5. That's probably going to shape whether or not we catch them. And we've also got Cleveland as the meat in the sandwich between those 2 Philly games, and OKC as well. So the next batch of games are not going to be easy. I reckon there's definitely a couple of nailed on losses in there. And we close off the season with some very important games. We play Minnesota a couple of times. We play Toronto, New Orleans. We play Washington again, the Clippers. There's some tough ones in there. We play Indiana twice and Boston twice too. So there's going to be some tough ones in there. But mixed in with there's a lot of winnable fixtures. I can see us winning 30 games, seriously, if we actually, play legit, because there's a lot of winnable matches in there. And we've shown that capability. Cam Thomas hasn't even been on the team for like 3 months or 2 months, it feels like. I mean, it's been November. Pretty sure it was November, or no, it's been like early January since Cam Thomas was with us, I think. He got injured, I think, in that Orlando game, which we choked. Pretty certain. Or it may have been a game after that, but early January. So he's been out for like 6 weeks at least. And we've managed to muster up 19 wins, which is something we couldn't even do with Cam Thomas in the lineup last year. So I think that says a bit about Geordie, and a lot more about how JV was coaching the group last year. I'd love to see how Geordie would have gone with that team, but we're only focusing on the now. We have won 5 of the last 6. We will play Philly. That'll be the final game before the All-Star break. So make sure to tune into that, because then there will be no stream, of course, for the next 8 days or whatever it is. So make sure to drop in for that game. We will chat to you in about 48 hours or so. Good to see you all, or not see you all, but see you in the chat. Thanks for the support as always. We'll chat to you soon. Have a good one, and stay safe. Have a good one. See ya.